Do you remember the Realme C11 that I talked about in the video right here? If you don't, well, go ahead and check that out because we now have its slightly upgraded version. This is the Realme C12, and in this video, we're gonna find out that this is actually a great option for those who have very limited budget. Alright, so first off, here's a quick unboxing so you guys can see what's included in the package. Of course, in typical Realme fashion, we get this small box, but unfortunately, we don't get a free case with this one. But we do have a pre-installed screen protector, so that's a nice touch. And then we also get the standard 10-watt charger and a micro USB charging cable. So now let's go ahead and check out the design on this. The Realme C12 has a headphone jack, a microphone, a micro USB port, and a down-firing speaker at the bottom. On the right side, we have the power button and the volume rockers. On the left side, we have a dual SIM card slot and a memory card slot. At the back, we have a triple camera setup. Now, you might be thinking that this is actually a quad camera setup, but the other lens looking part right here is actually an LED flash. Anyway, you also have a fingerprint scanner mounted at the back, and the design on this is actually quite similar to the C15, which is kind of like a geometric design. And I love the textured back panel. I always love textured back panels on phones. And you also have the Realme branding on the lower left corner. At the front, we have a water drop notch selfie camera, which is a 5 megapixel camera. And by the way, here are its key specs. Alright, so now let's go ahead and talk about the performance in this. This is going to be able to run all of your basic apps like social media apps, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. And you can definitely use this for Zoom meetings or whatever app you use for online meetings or online classes. The Helio G35 on this is quite capable. I mean, it was only able to get over 100,000 Antutu benchmark points, but for regular daily use, that is going to be enough. Now, you really have to temper your expectations, guys. Lower them a little bit because, of course, you're not paying for a flagship phone or a mid-range phone. This is an entry-level phone worth 5,990 pesos. And at that price range and for the performance that it gives you, I think that's a good deal. So I really think that this is definitely something that parents should consider. Now, let's move on and talk about the display on this. So this only has a 720p display or HD display. It's not gonna be a main deciding factor when you get this phone, but it's actually really decent. The colors are okay. They're not as saturated or as vibrant as what you'd see on mid-range or flagship phones, of course, because this is a budget level phone, but it's not that bad. I mean, you can enjoy watching videos on this on YouTube, on Netflix, or other platforms where you watch videos because this has a huge display at 6.5 inch. So this has a triple camera setup, as I mentioned earlier, the main shooter being a 13 megapixel wide angle lens. And then it also has a 2 megapixel macro lens and another 2 megapixel black and white lens. I've been mainly shooting with the 13 megapixel camera on this. A few years ago, at the 5,990 peso budget level phone, you'd only get around 5 megapixels for the rear camera. Now in 2020, we get a 13 megapixel on a budget level phone, which is unthinkable a few years back. And I'll be showing you the camera samples right about now. So what do you guys think about its camera quality? Let me know in the comment section. And of course, as always, because I'm a gamer, we always talk about gaming on any phone that we test. Now, with the Realme C12, you really have to adjust your graphical settings if it's not already adjusted to its lowest graphical setting to be able to play your favorite games. For example, if you're playing Call of Duty on this, you can't set it to medium or high because you won't be able to run it. As per testing, it is only available on low graphical settings. For PUBG, you can also set this to its lowest graphical settings and you'll still be able to get decent frame rates, but you'll see a lot of frame drops. For Mobile Legends, even at its lowest graphical settings, you'll still see minor frame drops, especially when there's a huge clash. Now, you just have to keep in mind that this is not actually a gaming phone. Being able to game on this is something that you should consider as a bonus. Temper your expectations when you're playing games on this phone. Now, lastly, I want to talk about the battery life on this. All right, so the battery on this is insane. At 6,000 milliamp hours battery capacity, you'll find a hard time draining this monster of a phone when it comes to battery. The last time I charged this was last Saturday, and today is a Thursday, and I still have about 30% battery left. Now, granted that I wasn't using this a lot, but it was still connected to my Wi-Fi. That's an insane standby time, but nowhere near the 57-day standby time that Realme is claiming. Now, I guess the last thing that we need to discuss about this is whether this is a great option at the budget level. If you're not gonna compare this with other phone models, then I'd say yes. But then if you're gonna compare this to other phone models like the Realme C15 and the C11, it's gonna be a tough choice. Because if you can extend your budget by 500 to 1,000 pesos, then I would highly recommend that you get the Realme C15, which is a better version of the Realme C12. Now, if you really have a very limited budget at 5,990 pesos and you can't go beyond that budget, then this is actually a great budget level option. You can definitely use this as your daily driver for social media and even for online meetings like Zoom, and yes, definitely for online classes. So if you want to get your own Realme C12, I'll put the links in the description box. Also, if you want me to do a comparison between the Realme C12 and its competitor from the Redmi brand, let me know in the comment section. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell button so you can watch more videos like this in the future. That's it for today, guys. Keep safe and have a great day.